It is very difficult, if not impossible, to create something new in your life when you are stuck in survival mode. The thing is, most of us unconsciously are. We live in a culture of hustle and burnout and proving and doing. Or some of us have been through a lot of trauma, a lot of difficulties, and we are stuck in a state of fear, anxiety, even depression, and really low self-esteem. Now, if you are in any of these states whatsoever, the chances are you're in survival mode. Your body is in survival mode, and it hasn't been given the okay yet that it is safe to just stop and create something different. And that is why, if you've been trying to create change in your life for a really long time now and nothing's happening, the chances are your body's stuck in survival, your nervous system is not having any of it. And so it keeps pulling you back to the same identity, the same reality, the same choices, the same decisions, the same experiences over and over again, because it's what it knows. So in this video, I'm going to dive into this a little bit more. And I'm also going to share with you why processing your emotions is fundamental and essential if you want to shift out of survival mode and move into creation mode. Because remember, you are a creator. That's what you're supposed to be doing, creating. And I'm going to share some powerful tools to do this as well. So make sure you stay right till the end so you can get all of these tools and start changing your life right now, today. Hi, I'm Kirsty Elizabeth. If you're new to this channel, welcome. I help women release the subconscious blocks that have been holding them back so they can rewire their identity and their energy and recode their reality. Before we get started, I do have a free gift for you. And this is a free virtual one-to-one coaching session. It's actually available as an instant access session where I will be on the other side of the camera guiding you through some coaching questions to help you discover your hidden blocks. And then it will be followed by an energy activation healing session where you just get to receive the benefits of shifting into a higher frequency and a higher timeline. So if that sounds good to you, make sure you sign up for that. It's completely free of charge right now. It will be £111 soon. But right now, for the next few people that come through it, you get it for free. So sign up if it feels like something that you want to say yes to. And for those of you ready to just get into the deep work, that are ready to be activated, want to receive personalized one-to-one attention, you can also sign up to a one-to-one coaching and activation session down in the description. I'll drop the link. So back to this video. I have spent most of my life in survival mode. I have spent most of my life stressed. And I didn't know any of this until I started getting into this work several years ago now. And I came across Despensza. And he actually said, you're addicted to the emotions of the past. We are all addicted to the emotions of the past. And that if we want to ever create anything new, we need to shift our body, our state of being, our mind, our energy out of survival mode and into creator mode. Because if the nervous system thinks there's a threat, if it thinks there's a danger, and bearing in mind our fear of the unknown, our fear of being judged or seen or ridiculed or failure, triggers it to think there's a real life threat out there. If our nervous system is triggered in that way, it's going to just default back to your survival wiring, which is basically keeping you exactly the same and exactly where you are, just using all of its power to keep you where you are. Because what I learned was it takes a lot of energy, a lot of calories to rewire ourselves, our minds, our emotions, and our identity for a new state of being, a new frequency, and to completely change us, to change those neural pathways. So it takes a lot of energy. So if we are in survival mode, our nervous system, it just won't allow it. It just will not allow it. It's going to default and bring us back. So if you have been on this journey for a while and you just find yourself flip-flopping all the time, it's like you feel great and amazing and inspired and activated for a few days, and then you're just like contracted. You wake up feeling negative and fear and anxious and all those lower vibrational energies and emotions and the things that you've been feeling for a really long time as well. It's just like, oh my God, I'm like, that old version's just kicking in again. And you just spend your life yo-yoing and you don't ever find that continuation, that consistency, that leveling up to a new dominant vibration and energy and state of being. Then this is why. So if you have, like most of us, and this was me, this is everything I share on this channel is because I've been through it. I never teach or share anything that isn't embodied wisdom. I never just read a book and then tell you what's in the book if I haven't lived it and got my own personal insight to share on it. So I have learned this the hard way, right? So I was someone that always suppressed my emotions. If I did something, say I went out and got drunk when I was younger, I did something that was embarrassing, well, shove that down, suppress, don't worry about it, never think about it again. Also, when I was young, if things humiliated me or I felt embarrassed or, I made mistakes or I had failures, anything like that, they all got shoved down. It was easier for me to process if I just pretended it didn't happen. I spent decades doing that, pretending it didn't happen. Now, what this does, and this is some of the work I do with my coaching clients, actually, it's a lot of the work I do with my coaching clients, this separates us. This ends up splitting ourselves, our soul, into different parts. We're rejecting parts of ourselves left, right, and center. And that's why we end up just feeling so, frustrated with ourselves and incomplete and always having those inner voices arguing. And there's so much inner conflict because we're just neglecting all these parts of us and rejecting them left, right, and center. But that's for another video. But that is what's happening, right? But what we're also doing is suppressing these emotions. And these emotions never go anywhere. They stay as stuck energy in our bodies. And this was mind-blowing to me. So everything we've suppressed, everything we've shoved down, it's all there waiting to be released. And it often comes out when we get triggered, right? Something happens, someone says something to you, something you don't like happens in your outside world, triggers it, and you end up with all this rage or this disappointment or this sadness or this frustration or impatience, right? It's because there's things in us that still need to be healed and these emotions are deeply suppressed in us. Now, if we are in survival, we have these emotions within us, these emotions that are causing stress and fear and anxiety. These are the emotions that are being held in our body. And the only way to shift this is to process them. Now, this is what I spent most of this time having learned about personal development, manifestation, and, starting to really learn about my emotions and my energy. I thought I was processing them when I was doing energy healing work, which it does. It shifts the energy. It is fantastic for releasing these energy blockages. It really, really works. But what I didn't realize was there was a missing piece to that I wasn't actually understanding. And it wasn't my fault. I just didn't understand, which is what happens with most of us, right? Is that after the energy healing, for example, then I'd probably feel crappy the next day. And then suddenly these things would be coming up and I'd be thinking, oh my God, I'm reverting back to the same identity. Nothing's changed. Why am I thinking like this? Why am I feeling like this? And what I didn't realize was I needed to feel these feelings and allow them to be there, but actually go through the discomfort of feeling them in order to process them and release them. All the time, I was shoving them back down, getting a tool, making myself feel better, quick do a visualization, quick go and do something else. Even like doing an energy tool, which I share on this channel, all these techniques, they're amazing for shifting your energy. But if we're working on a particular block, if we're trying to shift out of survival mode, we need to also be able to feel it and we need to process it. So that's the piece, that was the completion in the cycle that I wasn't actually doing. And this is something I really spent a long time working on last year and going even deeper into understanding because things seemed to come to a head. There was lots of things from decades just coming to the surface. There was a lot of stress, a lot of chronic illness symptoms coming up as well. And it was all related to this. It was being stuck in survival, even though I didn't realize I was still in survival because I was still creating things. I was still manifesting things. But ultimately, there wasn't the level of joy and inner peace I wanted. And actually, even though I did feel amazing a lot of the time, there were still things at a much deeper level that were ready to be released and needed to be seen. And I was actually bypassing them without realizing I was doing it. So this last year has been some really deep healing and processing of a lot of these emotions that were stuck in my body and allowing them to come, allowing them to be, allowing myself to feel it. And no one wants to feel it. I used to have a glass of wine if I felt uncomfortable emotions, or I would watch some Netflix, watch a movie, or just emotionally eat, right? There are different things we can do to stop us from having to feel it, because no one wants to feel these emotions. That's why we suppressed them all those years ago. But if we want to get out of survival and we want to truly raise our frequency and we want to raise our dominant vibration to the degree and heal our nervous system, expand our nervous system capacity so it's not seeing our expansion and our goals and our dreams as a threat anymore, and it allows us to move in alignment with it, then we need to release some of these stuck emotions and some of these stuck energies. So if this is resonating with you right now, please let me know in the comments. I want to hear from you. You know, I love hearing all of your stories, your ahas, your breakthrough moments. Share in the comments. It helps you integrate what you're hearing here today as well. And I respond to every single one of them. So if this has resonated with you, do share. But now I want to share some powerful tools that you can use to actually process the emotions so you can start moving out of survival mode. So the first one is journaling. Journaling is so powerful. And what I like to do is I just like to journal what I'm feeling. I like to give it a voice, and I can write down whatever I want, whether I'm angry or sad, or I'm like, F this and F that, whatever just wants to come out, just write straight from the subconscious. It could be coming from a 5-year-old wounded part of you that is so upset and feels so rejected, so misunderstood, so unloved, so unlovable, right? That it just needs to come out. It doesn't matter. Don't judge it. Just allow it to come out. Just write and write and write and write and write until it's all come out. And what usually happens for me is as it's sort of coming to an end, it sort of gets better. And I start thinking in a different way, and just giving it the voice allows it to be present. But then I also realize that that's not actually how I feel. It's just a suppressed emotion. It's a different part of me. And so then I can just start journaling, and my journaling becomes more positive, and I'm actually changing the script and the story, right? It doesn't always happen like that, but it can happen like that. Now, what I like to do with this paper afterwards is I like to throw it in the fire. I like to burn it and see it gone. Now, this doesn't complete the process because you also need to feel the emotion. So it's just about spending a few minutes just allowing that emotion to be present. And I do this throughout the day now. I will allow myself when something comes up to feel it instead of reaching for a tool straight away or bypassing it or having just moving my attention somewhere else, which we're taught to do. Just think of what you want, not what you don't want. Well, that doesn't help when you're in survival mode and you've got these emotions that need to come out in order to elevate and expand into your next level. So I'll just allow myself to feel it. And I notice where it is in my body. I notice if it's a shape, if it's a color. And I just feel into that sensation. And I just let it be felt. And often it dissipates very quickly because I've allowed it. I've stopped fighting it. So it's very, very powerful. Another tool, which I absolutely love and I speak about all the time, is Ho'oponopono. I will link up 2 videos that you can go listen to, Ho'oponopono affirmations. And if you resonate with them, I'll do it every day for 21 days, 30 days. Listen to these because they will walk you through feeling that emotion. So as you listen to them, you just lean into the emotion that you're feeling. You think about the circumstance that you're unhappy with or what you're being triggered by. And you're basically asking the divine to clear you from this faulty programming, this negativity, these blocks that are creating this new reality. You're taking 100% responsibility for what's showing up in your life, and you're just asking for cleansing. And as you do that and you set that as your intention, and you listen to the words and the music, and you feel your pain, you feel your discomfort, you feel the anger, the sadness, the anxiety, the depression, whatever it is, then what it tends to happen is after 10, 15 minutes of just I dog walk doing it, I'll listen to it with a cup of coffee sat on the sofa, right? You don't have to sit there repeating everything in your head afterwards. Just listen, and it moves you through releasing that emotion. And so sometimes I can be crying my eyes out for the first few minutes, and then it moves me into a vibration of peace and love and gratitude. Because of course the 4 phrases, for anyone that doesn't know, is I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. I'll drop another video in the notes below where you can learn more about Ho'oponopono if you've not heard of it. So I'll drop that above the Ho'oponopono track so you can go and watch that first. One of the most powerful healing modalities I've ever done, and it works every time like a charm. And even though you don't want to do it to change outcomes, because then there's that attachment piece and that the ego's getting involved, we want to do it on us to heal ourselves, to let go of the things that are no longer serving us. But every time I do it, everything outside of me changes. The situation, the outcome, the condition always changes, always quickly. It's so powerful. So that's one of them as well. And of course, another way you can process your emotions is by just letting it out. So you could have a good cry. Remember, it's energy that needs to be released. You can have a good cry. You can grab a pillow and scream into the pillow. They have things, I can't remember what they're called, but they have things here in London. Are they called breaking rooms? Something like that, where you can go in and you can smash plates and like, how fun, right? Smash plates and you go in and you get suited up and you can smash away old electrical equipment that they've probably got from the dump, and you just go in and you smash. Rage rooms, that's what they're called, rage rooms. What a powerfully healing thing to do when you've just got some anger to process, when you've got something in your body that doesn't align to who you want to be and where you want to go in your life, right? So there's lots of different things you can do to process and move this energy, but ultimately you want to feel it. And the biggest caveat I have with this is you want to feel it without getting hooked into the story. If you are sat there crying, going, my life never works out, everything's always wrong, and you're just hooked into the story, you're not processing and releasing that emotion, you're anchoring it in. And that's so important. So we want to be able to process it without reading into the story. Now, another thing a mentor of mine once told me was go and watch a sad movie. Just sit there, get really comfortable, allow yourself just to get swept into the movie, into their story. Go and watch something that you know will make you cry, and then you're crying for them. You're not crying about your life. You're not crying about anything to do with you, but you're able to process the emotion, but be disconnected from the story. Because let's face it, we are human beings. We have a range of all of these emotions. And we're meant to feel them, and it's okay. Like in manifestation, personal development, we're told don't ever feel bad. You've got to feel good all the time. You've got to watch your thoughts 100% of the time. You can never have a negative emotion, never have a negative thought. But actually, what we want to do for self-mastery is move into emotional intelligence and find ways to process our emotions, not let them define us, not let them anchor in our old story, but move through them so we can always expand and align ourselves to the frequency we'd prefer to feel. So let me know in the comments, what tool are you going to go and try right now? Remember, if you do one, come back and let us know. Share. This is a community. We're all here to support each other. And I would love for us to treat these videos and these spaces, these portals of transformation as exactly that. So we're all here for you. We want to hear from you. So let me know in the comments. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's given you some really powerful insight. Don't forget to sign up for that free virtual coaching and energy activation session in the comments. And if you like it, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you set notifications so you'll be notified every time I release a video. And share it with a friend who wants to hear this, who you know would love this type of content. I am so grateful for you being here. I'm grateful for you being part of this community. I love you so much. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next video.